The best ever!
The best giant robot game that I've ever played is Techromancer for Sega Dreamcast. It's pretty misleading because it sounds like it'd be some like RPG story, you know, a lot of time invested. No, it's a fighting game with giant robots.
Extreme Impact!
You know, actually when I picked up Techromancer, I only had one controller for the Dreamcast. Obviously it's a fighting game, so you want to play against friends. So we went out and I was trying to find a Dreamcast controller and I could not find a good one. I'm very picky, like I don't like to get third-party controllers. Just for some reason, we could not find like a first-party controller anywhere. So I ended up buying this like shitty Pelican purple Dreamcast third-party controller, all because I wanted to play Techromancer with my friends. You know, the worst thing is, like, I have the case to Techromancer, but I can't find the disc anywhere. And I want to play it so bad, and I want to show everybody because like nobody knows about Techromancer, and I want to show off the glory that is Techromancer giant robot fighting. Maybe someone stole it because it's that awesome.
Critical Impact!
I think the best ever giant robot game has to be Virtual On Cyber Troopers. It is the first giant robot game that ever came to US arcades that I can remember, and it probably is the most approachable. It's just 2 sticks and 4 buttons. When I'm at an arcade, I don't have a lot of time or money to try and figure out how to play this stupid arcade game. Instead, I want something that I can sit down and enjoy for 50 cents, and I'll probably only play it for like 5 minutes and then move on to something else. So yeah, the first time I ever played Virtual On was actually at the Tilt Arcade at Northeast Mall here in Dallas, Texas. And it was a really cool arcade because it was built under the food court in the mall, so it kind of had that dingy basement, kind of seedy arcadey feel. I was heading towards the Afterburner machine because, you know, Afterburner is a sweet arcade game. And next to it was this weird looking racing game, but it had 2 joysticks. So I sat down in it, and one of the first things I noticed was that there's actually a little plexiglass divider between you and the other player. And it's just slightly tinted so you can't see the screen on your side. Put in my 50 cents and gave it a whirl, and it was incredible.
What makes giant robots cooler than anything else is the customization. It's not just a monster with like tentacles or whatever. You can make a giant robot and you can put anything on there. The best giant robot game of all time isn't actually a video game, it's an old pen and paper game called BattleTech. I played the hell out of BattleTech, with my brothers mostly. It was my older brother who introduced it to me in the first place. You can kind of think of it like Dungeons and Dragons, where you're basically creating your own robot or character. And you can really customize it. I mean, you can choose his weight class, how many heat sinks it has, how much armor it has on his exterior, or change up his endoskeleton. The first time I actually made my own mech, I was younger, so I didn't quite know what I was doing, so I somehow managed to put a Gauss rifle on my rear center torso, which doesn't make any damn sense if you've ever played BattleTech, but I got away with it and I had a very unfair advantage. After you create your robots, the main purpose for them is to fight each other. So we would have this huge map on our kitchen table, and it's on a grid of hexagons. And we had these pewter figurines that we painted ourselves to represent our robots. And then we would just use 2 6-sided dice to move and roll and fire, and we would just fight it out to see who had the best robot. BattleTech was so cool and so immensely popular that it spawned an entire video game series. If you've ever played a MechWarrior game, that's BattleTech. If you ever played Mech Assault on the original Xbox, that's BattleTech. But for as cool as the video game is, I mean, you can't beat the pen and paper one.